And yeah, welcome everyone who's listening to this on YouTube to what we're classing as season 2 of the We Blow Carts retro podcast. My name is Ash. As you can see, we've made some changes to the layout and how this is going to be done. So hopefully you enjoy it. And I'm joined again today by Alistair. How's it going, good sir?
I'm doing fine, me. Yeah, I'm here to talk about Intellivision. You know more about this than I do, so I'm just here for the ride, me.
Yeah, so as a sort of different sort of kind of episode, today's episode is let's talk about the Intellivision Amico. Now, I've been following this for quite a while now. I believe it was announced in 2018 originally. This is Intellivision's new console that is due to come out soon. It has been delayed quite a while, but for those who don't know what Intellivision is, it was a sort of 16-bit games console. In the UK, we never really got it. I don't know anyone who had an Intellivision. I don't ever remember owning one, playing one. I don't know whether they never came out over here or what. But did you ever know anyone with an Intellivision? Because I certainly didn't.
Nah. Round here it was all Sega. I mean, even like Nintendo was scarce around here. It was all like everybody had like Segas for days.
Yeah. But I've played a few Intellivision games recently. They recently did a Intellivision cartridge on the Evercade system. So I have played a few of the games. I do know of some of the games previously, but I believe they were the ones that were ported to like Atari and stuff like that. But apparently, according to the Intellivision website, it was the first 16-bit games console, and it came out 2 generations before that was the industry standard. It was so popular it sold across 3 decades from 1979 to 1990, and it was the first video game console to have a built-in pause feature in the controller. So there you go. The only thing I remember of it was that horrible sort of like wood color. I bet people loved that back in the day though. Like that's a proper.
That's the
It
thing
was
people go nuts for now.
yeah, it would have fit in with the 80s decor definitely.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, I don't particularly like the look. But it had that weird sort of disc on the controller, and then like a D-pad, which was like buttons. It looked like a
It's yeah.
phone.
Yeah, it's a phone. I remember. I have seen reviews of this. It's like the D-pad itself, like the number pad, is like iffy at best because it's like you would imagine it being like one of those toy type like old phones. So it'd be like it wouldn't have the greatest connection possible or like the best like click feedback that you'd want. But back then, I don't know. Maybe people got by. Probably it was trash. Who knows? I would expect their new console to feel better.
Yeah, we would hope. I mean, like I said, I'm just literally on their website now. I thought we'll jump on now. For those, I was planning to do this next week, but we've got our wires crossed, so we're doing it today. So I'm a bit sort of rushed to get the details. But I'm going through their website, and it says the Intellivision was the first console to allow for 16 directions, while offering 4 action buttons and a 12-button keypad, which opened up a greater gameplay options and control, which is pretty cool. It was the first console to have built-in screen burn-in protection by blacking out the TV after a few minutes of game inactivity. So, like a screensaver, that's pretty cool. Little things. The very first video game to have speech or voice in it was the 1979 Intellivision release of Major League Baseball. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, there seems to be loads of stuff that the Intellivision's done. Was the first games console to offer digital distribution of video games through the Play cable. So you connected the cartridge port and downloaded games through a cable TV subscription. That's pretty
Wow,
cool. So
it beat Sega.
yeah, and apparently it had the largest home console software library in the world. Oh, because it allowed you to play Atari 2600 games on it with a
So
cross-platform
you had all
system
that
changer.
shovelware to go through.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I've never owned an Intellivision. I've always looked at it as like the ugly duckling sort of thing, and never been interested in the retro side of it. I've played them recently, and some of them are pretty good. But
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the Intellivision.com website for anyone listening who's interested in sort of news and stuff like that, and information and facts. There's a load on there. That's pretty cool. But we're talking about their new upcoming console. It's called the Intellivision Amico. Now, like I say, I've been following this for quite a while. I'm actually looking at it from like a family sort of father point of view over a games console for myself or a sort of next gen competitor. That's not what this is, in my opinion. But you, Alistair, you pretty much didn't really know about this till I sort of said, let's do an episode on this. And you had a quick Google. So, yes, let's find out what you think.
Yeah, let's do this.
Right. So, what I'm going to do, for those who are watching, I'm going to put on the trailer when they announced the newest trailer. Like I said, it has had a few trailers, but this is the one from 2021. It's got no sound because I don't want to be any copyright infringement or anything like that. But just to get a quick idea while we're chatting about it, you can see everything that's going on. But like I say, yeah. So this is a sort of family console. Obviously, Tommy Tallarico is the sort of CEO, I believe, of Intellivision now, and he did a lot of those. Do you know, the video game sort of orchestra sort of music shows and stuff, and he did a lot of video game music for a lot of retro games. So, yeah, like I say, I'm really looking forward to this in a weird way, and I don't know why.
Do you just want to get out your reasons for liking this, or?
Yeah, so I'll go then. Yeah, so like for me, it looks like something I could let my kids play with, and like it seems aimed at more family-friendly games. It looks easy to use. It looks like the games aren't gonna like be stupidly expensive. The fact that it comes with 2 pads out of the box, it comes with a load of games in the box. So I think you get sort of like 6 games included at launch.
Yeah.
And I like the fact, I believe, like I said, I was telling you just before we started recording, I believe you can attach phones as extra controllers as well, which I think is pretty cool if you don't have extra pads. If like you're playing a game, because it allows up to 8 players. If you're playing a game on the screen and someone wants to jump in, I believe you can get like an app and they can jump in. Or I'm sure that's what they were talking about previously. Whether that happens, I don't know, but it would make sense. Do you know what I mean? Instead of having like 8,
cool.
who has 8 controllers lying around?
Yeah, theoretically, that's a nifty idea. I know that like PlayStation's dabbled around with that idea of using like phones as a hybrid controller just to get people into playing party games on their systems in the past. So it's not untested ground. So that's a smart idea. There we go. I just recognized something, and I remember why Intellivision's something to remember because of Earthworm Jim. They actually hold the license to him, if I'm not mistaken.
They have an exclusive Earthworm Jim sequel coming out on this console, which is another reason I'm interested in this console as an Earthworm Jim fan.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for that. But yeah, the console itself, it looks, it doesn't look like it's going to blow my mind away. It looks like to me, it feels like it's going to fall into the Wii category of it's niche, but it's not. It's like for everyone. The games, obviously, they're not sort of next gen graphics. They look sort of. Some of them are probably just mobile ports, but do you know what I mean? It's the fact that it's split screen, sort of co-op, same screen multiplayer, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, this I did contact Intellivision at E3 when I had the press and asked for an interview, but then they said, "Oh, we'll sort that out," and then I never heard back from them. So I would love to have interviewed them for the channel and the website, but as of now, I didn't get that far.
Well, the Olive branch is still there, so
yeah. So if anyone ever from Intellivision ever happens to watch this, I'm super interested. Hit me up. I would love to discuss it and find out more about it because, as I was saying to you, it's like a Marmite console at the moment. People are either really interested in it, either for just nostalgia reasons or for family reasons. And the other side of the camp is they're on it like everything. They're picking at it, and giving the developers and the like Tommy and stuff like that, they're just hounding them on Twitter, and it's like it's a scam, it's this, it's that, and like it's madness. It's like, yeah, it's been delayed. COVID has delayed things. Could they have handled it better? Probably. Do you know what I mean? Like they got someone leaked all the like private sort of things that they send out to devs and stuff to get them on the platform, but it was from like 2 years ago, so it was out of date.
Right.
But I believe they sort of threatened to sue them to shut them up, which doesn't work. I mean, it was handled badly on both sides. And I think this was like kickstarted or crowdsourced as like crowdfunded as well. So
All
I
right.
can
Yeah.
understand people's frustrations if they backed this if like 3 years ago and they still haven't got it. This is one reason I don't kickstart anything anymore, because I've been burnt on that bridge many a time. I
Yeah.
remember when I had the shop and we used to kickstart board games, and we'd get the stock after everyone who could buy it in the shop got it, even though we paid for it a year in advance. So
Yeah.
I try not to do
Yeah.
this. Whereas, like I say, at the moment, you can pre-order this on Amazon. Game has got it up. A few other websites in the UK have got it up. Not a lot, but it is available to pre-order properly. So if anyone's interested in the UK listening to this, I'd recommend Amazon, because they don't charge you up front until it comes out, and Game like to slap like 10 quid delivery on consoles normally, and I don't know why they do that, whereas Amazon's free basically if you've got Prime. So now we'll go into some of the games. This is from obviously last year, but this is the best video I could sort of find to showcase a sort of variation in games. So there are licensed games coming. There's remakes or sort of like reinterpretations of classic Intellivision and sort of Atari games. And yeah, there's all sorts of, there's like little party games, there's board games. I mean, like say, they're not going to appeal to the sort of hardcore gaming fans. I don't think they're aiming to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, this looks like this is meant to be a reimagination of adventure.
That one was a redo
Yeah.
one. This one is on the screen right now.
It's a
This one
redo
looks
of.
really, really cool. Now, one thing they were giving them a lot of stick for not showing a lot of the console off and the gameplay and stuff. But in the last sort of month, they've been doing these deep dives, which are like 20-minute long videos on YouTube, showcasing a lot of and they're on single games. So they're showing the
Yeah.
gameplay off, they're showing like the menu systems off. And I appreciate that. And not enough companies do that, like deep dives. So it's just a shame it's took them this long. Like, couldn't they have done this a year ago and they wouldn't have had all this sort of shit from people? Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, like if they're doing that now, it's more or less of a fact that they have it ready to go now. A deep dive normally means like this is what we're comfortable to show, and this is ready for launch, like type setup.
I agree, but then this is
doing...
one of the reasons they're getting the stick, because this was supposed to be out a long time ago, and the
Yeah.
delays they've said is because of COVID for the console manufacturing. But then surely the games would be ready to be played, and they've got the dev kits and stuff, so they could have technically shown this off.
But then you've got to think about the fact of like if they don't have a console ready that they're wanting to make the most money off, you know. I mean, fair enough.
No,
software
I totally
software is always the
understand
biggest seller. Software is always the biggest seller, but you want to be pushing your hardware the most. Sure, they could just like throw these out on mobile right now, like 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, and then they could have bought out the console when it was ready to do this year or next year.
I don't mean bringing the software out. I mean they could have shown more footage off than these snippets. Like these games should have been technically been ready to go when the console was originally coming out. Not
they probably were. I mean, these are pretty. I mean, they're nice looking, but these are pretty as you go good looking like mobile games. Like they're pretty easy to dev. As a person who's done work like this before, yeah, these are I won't say easy to make because no game's easy, but these are doable games with on a mobile I'm guessing it's a mobile type engine that they're using.
It's using, I believe. Let me have a look. I've got the specs here. It's nothing gonna blow your mind. So, 2 gig of RAM, 32 gig memory, 8 core, 1.8 gigahertz, a Qualcomm Snapdragon CPU, 1080p output. It's got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, RFID. 12-volt power, one micro USB card, sort of for additional storage, which is good. I was
Yeah,
going to ask about that because I wasn't sure if it had expendable storage, but I would assume as it's got a micro SD card slot, it does have expendable storage. This is a digital-only console as well, so there are physical products to buy, but and we'll get to that soon. But it doesn't have like discs as such.
right.
But like I say, I mean, I look at this and I like retro games. You know me, I like playing them.
That's why we're here. Flowing,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
That's why we're here talking about retro
But
games.
I like my kids playing games, and I've got an Xbox. I play on my Xbox quite a lot, but a lot of my games are either one, the multiplayer is online only, so you've got to play on Xbox Live. You need 2 consoles, 2 TVs just to play. There's a very little split screen couch co-op games anymore. And two, most of them are just shooters, drivers, and they're not sort of shmups. They're not sort of fun kids games. They're not learning games. I mean, you get the odd tie-in for like Paw Patrol and the Ghastly normally, but
Yeah.
it's very hard to buy games for kids.
I
Like when
like
we
the,
were
I
kids,
I like the
you'd
fact
buy
that you
like,
mentioned Paw Patrol because I was looking at that the other day because of my baby boy who's 2, and I'm just like, I should get this. He's really into it right now. I'd hate it, but he would love it to death.
honestly, it's they'll love it. My kids love them. I've got all of them on the Xbox, but they're just bog standard games as such. But that's, I mean, there's not many though. There's very little choice. And my daughter likes playing with my son, but she's younger and she doesn't. She struggles with some of the
Right.
games compared to
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whereas some of the stuff I've seen here, I think my kids would
They could
both be able
both.
to play. And you
Yeah.
can drop in and drop out at any time, pretty much. It feels very arcadey in that sort of sense. Like if you're mid game, someone can just pick up a pad and be in. But like I say, I mean, as you can see on the screen, there's a wide variety of games in development. I mean, they're not gonna blow your socks off, sort of, in terms of pushing the boundaries of technology and stuff. But I like the fact that I can have like 8 people rather than we can all just jump on and play compared
Yeah,
to
well,
sort of
to be fair, like if they market it right, because it's like a good conversation that I have with my friends who we meet up every now and again, and like we like to hang out and play games. The thing that we like to play the most is stuff like Mario Kart, Mario Party, simple party games. So like if they say like if Intellivision was to come out and say like, oh yeah, this is good for like parties. So
yeah.
we've got like these great arcade experiences for 8 players, and oh by the way, you can hook up your phone. It's super fast, super easy, and you can all play these retro style video games with slightly newer graphics, or just with the old style, whatever you like, just for some fun half-hour action. That'd be a really smart idea. Like that'd be a really smart idea in like this generation of consoles in which it's almost entirely dominated by like 10 over like 10 gigabytes worth of like just for a patch. No
Oh
one gets
yeah.
to
I
play
mean,
together in a room,
we
period.
had a family game night yesterday. We had like members of family round and stuff, and we were playing like the
Yeah.
Jackbox games and the quiz games because there's nothing else you can really play on an Xbox nowadays. That's you can play like for more than 4 players. There's very little. There's a few racing games you can play actually 4 player on
Yeah.
screen, but like you can't ask someone's mum to fucking
Can't do Forza.
jump on. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? On
Come,
Gang
come
Beasts.
on,
Do you know
guys,
what I
get in the
mean?
other
It's
room and
not gonna
start playing
happen.
some. Yes. Yeah, start playing some Halo Infinite with me. Come on, get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Whereas
do you mean
like
you don't know how to
Jackbox,
LAN?
you can slap it on. So
Yeah.
yeah, so for me, this is why I'm interested in this. It's the family aspect, the social aspect of it. I mean, we're at a time in the world where we can't really be super social, or we haven't been able to be for ages, and we're just slowly, hopefully, getting back to it. So something like this would be really fun. I mean, yeah, like this game on the screen now isn't for me, but my kids would, my daughter would love it. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
cute
yeah, my
kids
kids will like this.
games, Brain Jewel. I know my missus loves like the brain training and stuff like this. So, and this
I can see
this
how
Evil
this.
Knievel game looks ace.
I can see how like this like type of like thing could work. Like it'd be a struggle. Don't get me wrong. They'd like pretty much survive off just like going for like minute like their like profit margins will be very slim. Mainly because like I'm guessing they're selling games digitally with little microtransactions involved.
No, there's no microtransactions. I believe that's one of the things. All
So
the
it's going to be
games are,
solely on sales then.
yeah. I believe that was the
Yeah.
sort of mantra: is there's no microtransactions in the games.
Fair
Um,
enough.
every game is either exclusive to the console or has exclusive features to the console. So, like that Evil Knievel game you saw, it's out on mobile and other things, but on this console they've added extra things to it. So that's a cool little function, saying that you get these exclusive features. And I believe they've said the games are all going to be up to a certain amount. There's not going to be any sort of 40 quid games that I've heard of. Last time I checked, they were all at a certain price, which I thought was pretty decent. And like I say, it depends how
and
much they are when you get there, really. Like, if they're digital and they're like a fiver, a lot of people would pick them up.
well, there's a market out there in which this could really work well in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
South America.
There's been a lot of shit talking over it. I'm not going to go into it.
I'm not
too
shit
much.
talking. They get taxed a lot. If this thing can hit underneath a certain bracket, South America could be like, yes, because they get wrecked on their like tax sales. So if they can skirt under that,
it
and
is an
sell,
expensive console. Like on Amazon,
ooh,
this is the problem
yeah.
with it. This is the main concern for me. Is
What's the price?
the
Everyone actually
price?
talks about the price.
So the price in the UK is £249.99. So you get the console, the two controllers, and some games included to get out of the box, basically.
Right.
So this is the
Alright.
product description. The Intellivision Amico is a video game entertainment system designed to bring social fun back to the living room. Amico is the Italian word for friend or buddy, and the Intellivision Amico fully encapsulates this meaning with a home video game console that has fun, value, and togetherness at its core. Amico easily hooks up to the TV and comes with 6 premium games. 2 easy-to-use colour touchscreen controllers come standard, and up to 6 more can be added, making gameplay enjoyable for up to 8 simultaneous players of all skill levels. Affordable, family-friendly games encourage group participation and teamwork and are safe for all ages. There's no graphic violence, blood, bad language, or inappropriate content, and it's designed to appeal to a broad audience, from nostalgic gamers to families who want to enjoy fun games together. Amico is perfect for the new friend for your home. So yeah, they're aiming it as like a family-friendly console. There's not going to be like Resident Evil, I assume, on it and stuff like that. It's going to be like the action is sort of like tanks and stuff, like classic retro.
Yeah, how I basically how I just thought how they should market it is exactly how they're marketing it. It's a family-focused, getting people back into the living room type experience, which is it's a smart play. It's that's the right way to like pivot this thing.
It is pricey, but then they've got to make a profit. Do you know what I mean? It's life.
Yeah,
they're not selling these on, like, they're not going to be selling 100 million like a PS4. They're not going to probably sell 10 million. No offense, this is going to be niche. They can't have those massive product like the price margins, the profit margins from making that many. So
I see why I can see why I would just thought, as a consumer, if that was under £200 to say, like, or even like $200, then you're having a conversation, and against, you're actually having a conversation against the other consoles. Then saying you're 240, that's £10 off an Xbox S.
Yeah, I think it's like the same price in the UK as an Xbox Series S. So, I mean,
Yeah,
for those
I paid
who are aimed at
$250 for
little
mine.
kids, you would maybe go for it, but an adult would probably. That's the only downside that I see desperately at the moment is the bloody the
But
price
it's
of
like
it.
it's hard because it's like they could go low, but then people would think it's a toy and they wouldn't go for it because they'd be worried it's low quality. If they mark it high, which they might have, they might not have, I don't know, they'll maybe price themselves out. But if they, I don't know, maybe it's the right price. I feel if it was 200, just a bit below, maybe like 190, everyone would be having a different conversation about it. People would be going like, yeah, maybe fun times, party times, yeah, that'd be a good price. 240.
Now, like I say, in terms of games, I think according to Wikipedia, there's 86 have been announced in development so far.
They've got a big catalog they can dig into, though.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's good. That's a good idea.
They're remastering these Intellivision games and the Atari games, but what's to stopping them just sticking those like Atari games and Intellivision classics on there in like a bundle?
I'm shocked they just haven't. Like no joke. Like if it was like a proper, just like, hey, this isn't the television, like in its prime, and like we saw like a bunch of like remakes of like the old classics, but it's just like if they just give me like that old, like very, because it's like purely black backgrounds with a couple of colors of the characters, but you had 8 players playing instead of just the 1 or 2 back in the day. That's interesting. That's fun. That's got like a fun value to it. I get why they've done what they've done, because it just helps market it to younger kids and to casual audience a lot more better. So I get why, but I would also be happy if they just went, yeah, also here's the classic versions as well, like with the retro style graphics.
Like they've done with the Atari VCS, where that has the modern games on, but it also has like 3 or 4 backlog sort of classic Atari game compilations on, and you can buy classic Atari games for a couple of quid each, like super cheap.
That'd be fun.
Legally then. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't. Maybe they will in the future, but I think the current
sort idea if they did.
push at launch is we're reimagining these classics. So this is why you need this console, because these are new. But maybe down the line they could do that. I hope they do anyway. It always adds value to consoles having sort of backwards compatibility with, or at least re-releases of like classic catalogs. Especially for people like us in the UK who never get to play these consoles ever back in the day because they just weren't around. So
plus it gets them into a really good conversation in terms of like gaming development space of like preserving the past, because every other company right now is absolutely nuking their like original or like their classic games to the point where it's getting harder and harder to get hold of certain old games. But if like Intellivision had come out and just go, no, we are proud of our history and we have it here permanently, legally, that'd be impressive. That'd be really impressive to actually, for them to stand forward and go like, no, we're happy to preserve our past, good and bad. You can play any game, reimagined or classic. That'd be super cool. Because like then you could show kids this is how it used to be, or and then show them how classic games can still be fun today, or just the fact of just like, this is what we used to work with, this is how it used to be, type stuff. But there's a lot they could do if they actually went and legalized all of their classic IPs and brought them to their console right now. I'd really be happy to see that, to be honest.
Speaking of games, like I say, this is a digital console, but they are doing physical boxed copies of these digital games.
How does this work? Is this code? Is this code?
You will see. Let me add this on. So,
are they mahogany?
No, do you know what? I love the fact the covers are like classic. They
The
remind me of like
classic,
classic
yeah.
Atari cases with the like hand-drawn art where they all look really cool.
Oh, the backs are like, oh yeah. I'm seeing them here, yeah.
So, what annoys me, I'm going to pause this. Oh no, I went past it. Go back, go back.
That
They've admitted
that
this was a mistake. If you look
oh
at
yeah.
biplanes, it's in a different font on the side.
Oh yeah.
So it sets my like OCD off. But
Oh yeah.
it's only slightly. But I know as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's not right." But apparently, that's been fixed for future
Yeah, because
releases.
it's thin.
But these physical releases here, they're only doing. I think there's 8 of them. Pre-launch. Now the limited collector's editions, it says limited collector's editions on the top, and I think they're limited to a certain amount of thousands spread across the world. Basically, there isn't a huge amount of them. But let's keep going. Let me
Get that
show you the good
collector
stuff.
energy on it. I get you. Get that scarcity.
So that's what's inside. So the games come with a
Coin?
a coin, a custom coin for each game, and on the back it has the Running Man, the logo in all its sort of animation frames, which is really cool. And like a lenticular card, and on the back of the card it has sort of information about the game and tips and stuff like that. Sort of like a manual in a card, which I thought was pretty cool.
All
Um,
right.
and then
That's a nice filler.
this thing here, the little black thing, is like an RFID card,
All right.
and that you place it onto the console and it registers it to your console, and then you download it
Right.
digitally. But
Right.
it's an NFT basically,
Oh my
so
god.
you can then basically you redeem that on your console.
Yeah.
But if you sell that on, someone then can then just, if as long as they've got that card, they can redeem it on their console, and it transfers the ownership to someone else. So technically, yes,
All
these
right.
are digital games that you download, but if you gave that to someone
Well,
else,
that card actually has like an unlimited download code on it.
no, it'll. So if you placed it on one console, downloaded it, then a
Yeah.
month later you gave it to someone else. When they put it on their console, it removes it from yours.
Okay.
So it's like a unique ownership, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, for those people who are hardcore, like I like to have the ability to sell my games and trade my games. I hate digital. It sort
Yeah.
of appeases them in a way. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's an idea. I don't know how I feel about it.
I probably wouldn't bother with it. I probably wouldn't buy
To be
physical.
fair, I buy digital anyway, so like all this is kind of like commute to me. I like
Yeah,
the idea of it, like the cute box art, that's nice. The coin, that's nice. The card information, that's really nice. The downloadable aspect of it, it's a bit weird, but it's how they want to play it. Whatever. If
it's
it
a good
works,
way
it
to do
works.
it, though. There's no other way to do it other than you were just getting a card and a coin in a box, really, was there? So
Yeah, I mean, like people have done games have done it in the past. There's digital copies of games out there. There's Fortnite boxes out there. You can
Mhm.
physically buy Fortnite.
Yeah, but I mean, with this
What?
one, that card you can actually then exchange for a value going forward.
Yes, it holds value. That's a
Yeah,
nice aspect. Let's say that. That's a nice aspect of the whole. Like
obviously, if the service shut down, it's still worthless. But in the
that
sense
is
of
the problem.
if it's still going, I mean, I like the look of these though. Like, I love the artwork on some of them. I mean, like the Missile Command, the Evil Knievel, the Moon Patrol ones. They all
Yeah.
look really cool. Now, this is another thing that caused a bit of a furor. So, if you haven't been following this, you wouldn't have known this. But when they showed this video off and announced this and showed off these, you could buy these limited collector's editions there and then, and they were posting them out next week. So you can technically buy 8 games physical, but there isn't a console out yet, and there
Right.
still isn't an official release date for the console because it's been delayed. but they're selling games for a console that
Okay.
technically couldn't. This is my issue with this. I mean, I don't think it's a scam. I just think that they're a small company compared to these big companies. They're trying
Yeah,
something new. They've done it at the worst possible time. COVID's come and absolutely wrecked production. But
yeah, it sounds like they
selling
had it. Yeah,
the games before the console comes out is a big no in my
yeah,
book. 'Cause I'd love
yeah.
to own these. I'd love to own the limited collector stuff because I'm a sucker for anything that says limited collecting edition on it. And I actually like the cards. They remind me of like, is it limited run games that you get the card with the game
Yeah,
in?
yeah,
And like I say, I think the price that I think it's for 8 games, it was 130 quid, which isn't bad for like collected limited edition, or 70 quid for 4. I mean, it's not the worst price. Um, and I'd love to buy them, but I wouldn't buy them until the console's out, or I've got at least like I know it's coming like next month or something like that. The fact that they're at this time of recording, I don't believe there's an official release date yet, other than sort of early 2022, which could mean anything. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. But this honestly sounds like the way that you're describing the sequence of events totally sounds like a manufacturing problem.
Yeah,
It to-
they probably ordered these at the same time as the consoles, but these don't need parts.
yeah,
These don't take. They're just cardboard and plastic in a box, really, innit? That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
But why are they? I get why they're selling them. It's money
That
coming in. It keeps people's interest up. It
Yeah,
shows that
it's
games are coming.
literally that one reason. The only reason why that, like, because I can imagine like the board meeting being something like, all right, we're behind on our console, but the cards are coming in right now. Do we keep them in storage? Do we pay for storage?
Yeah,
No, we sell them now and we get whatever money we can. Makes sense. I
but it also
understand that.
shoots himself in the foot.
But yeah, in a PR stand, in a customer stand, that's a bit odd. It's not a good move.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I don't think it's done in a scammy way.
I
Like
know
I said, I just think it's just really bad timing, and
it
I
doesn't sound
just
like a scammy way, because like a scammy way would be to literally just have done the Kickstarter, promised a whole bunch, and then just ran with the money, or just
yeah,
never did any of like the back rewards, which is like number one scum move.
yeah.
In terms of like Kickstarter stuff. By the sounds of it, they're trying to keep true to what they've done. I don't know. All I can say is like it
I've
sounds.
watched quite a lot. They seem quite genuine, but there's a very it's still like
It,
very
yeah,
mucky waters at the moment. But I
yeah,
feel
it
like
sounds like they're on. It could be either
I
poor
think
timing
they've said.
or
I think Tommy, the guy, I think he's just very passionate about it, and I think sometimes they may have like bigged it up more than they needed to, or you know
yeah,
what they do. Look at Peter
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Molyneux with all his bloody games.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
People
like
that are
I haven't
into
even
it,
seen Tommy. I haven't even seen Tommy talk. I've just seen him on the videos silently, and he already. I'm getting the energy off of him. I'm just like, this guy is pumped. This guy is happy to be talking about these type of
yeah.
products. I like this guy. He seems like a nice guy. He also seems like he's really like promising too much too fast, which is fine. That's what a hype man's meant to do. But it's a problem when the product can't deliver, and that's what's currently happening.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
mean,
a bit upsetting.
they've been doing, like I say, they've been doing like shows of it. They've been taking it to sort of places in America, letting people play it, showing
Yeah,
videos of people playing it and families and stuff. People have moaned that it looks like there's slight lag between the controller and the console. That may be the case, but until we see it properly, it's hard to judge.
yeah.
Um,
Like until like either like enough people get hold of it, or you see like the Digital Foundry video. I mean, let's just say it like that will be the true ultimate test of its performance. Uh,
yeah,
we can't say much because they can say what they like, but until enough people actually get hold of it, it's hard to say if it's the lag or just the performance of the unit of the day of the show or whatever. So it's tough to say. But like I say, with the promise of the way the games are, the promise of how they're wanting to do stuff, and if they do all that retro stuff that we talked about, it sounds pretty okay to me.
yeah. It just think it's an expensive upfront cost. Last up, before we sort of end the show, they showed off the UI recently.
All right.
So I'm gonna just fast forward it through. It's a very simple UI. It really reminds me of the PSP. With like when you've
Yeah.
got a game installed, it shows everything on a screen. It gives you details. Now,
Yeah.
one thing it does do, if you own a physical game, you get like digital versions of all of the collector's stuff, like the card and the coin and stuff.
Yeah.
And it says, and like around the game here, it would say sort of where it shows on the right, it says like limited collector's edition. So it, even though it's a digital game, it recognizes it on your console like it's the collector's edition, which I thought was a nice little add-on. Didn't have to be
Yeah.
done.
Nice little touch. Nice little like signature to your like purchase.
And it's all built into one UI, so there's not a separate store. The store is part of the main UI.
Right.
So,
All right.
like that, look, it just goes up. I mean, this may change in future when there's a lot more games.
I
But
hope so, because
when
otherwise,
it's
like the
black,
store, you go to like the store tab and it's like 800 products you can buy. It's like, oh,
well, what they do is by the looks, all the store stuff's at the top, and then all of them they're separated into categories like action, etc., sports.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
if they're blanked out, you don't own them. If they're spinning and they're showing like these ones here, you do own them.
Yeah.
So you could go on and go, "Oh, I really want to play a party game today." Go down to that category, and you can see which ones you own and the ones you don't, and you can just literally click on them and see there it goes. So it says collector's edition. It tells you exactly which number of the collectors you are as well.
Okay.
So I thought that was a cool. It doesn't make a massive
Do,
difference. I just thought it was a neat
do
little
they press
feature.
play in this video?
Pardon?
Do they press play?
They do. They
Oh,
go through and show how the store works, basically.
I was kind of
Okay.
like interested to see like what the load time or like what the loading of like the game would
So
be.
I'll show you here. Look, this is I'm going to buy this game quickly. So obviously they don't do it proper payment. It's obviously
Yeah, give me
a
his
mock.
details. Give me his
Yeah,
details.
but it's just to show you how it sort of
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's not super slow. Like I say, I mean, for what it is, I mean, I'm not expecting a lot from it. I'm expecting it to be like a console that has sort of smaller budget games,
I
2D, a
mean,
lot of 2D games, a lot of sort
yeah,
of like
that
mobile.
load time is like for something that's like what, like a couple meg. So
It'll not
like
be
that,
big, but
yeah,
then, like I
we're
say, they
talking
go
like
on.
sub like 10 gig,
You can
sub
favorite the games, put
10
them to the
megs.
top.
This UI like makes me feel like, you know, like Cartoon Network back in the day. This feels like
Yes.
something they would have as like a joke thing for like a this is what games look like. That's
This
what
is
it kind of like reminds me of. That's pretty. That's not too bad.
it does what it does. I mean, I'm not like I say it does what it says on the tin. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
until they see more, I can't judge it fully either way. But I like what I see, and I don't know why. It just appeals to me as I don't know whether it's because I'm a dad. I like retro. I don't know what it is, and I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I am tempted to put a pre-order down on Amazon because technically I can cancel it any time until it comes out, so it's not a worry, and I'm not paying out. But I just
yeah,
want that release date. As soon as I get a release date and a bit more info, like what games are definitely coming out on release, sort of what the first wave of next games are going to be and stuff like that. I'm all up for it, and like I said, I just feel like that would be so much fun to play around with. I mean, like I like the Switch. Playing the Switch is quite fun, but the Switch pads are awful. Like those the
yeah.
Joy-Con, they're shit. Who's got hands? They're for babies. Who's got little baby hands that can use a Switch pad on its side? Awful. I
Oh,
mean, it's not bad when you plug
I
it
looked
in.
down at my little baby hands and I realized, oh no, me.
I don't enjoy the Switch controller. Um, I don't like how you play it. Yes, it's great. You can pop the sides off and you can play two player, but it's a much more inferior version than playing with both sides attached.
Yeah, I've noticed
Where-
that. I've played a couple of sessions like when I go over to a mate's house and we play Switch, and it's just like this is great concept, it's great in idea, but in execution, I would much prefer to have a pad, like a proper like pad, or just Like, I know they're using like basically a phone template as their controller, but I would much prefer something like that because it fits more comfortably in my hand. I'm guessing. Like, again, like I don't know the dimensions of the controller they have, but I'm guessing it's the rough dimension of like an average phone. So it's like that would feel quite nice in my hand. I would understand how it would all work. So yeah.
Yeah, I like them. They've got wireless charging. It's got lights on the front. I mean, you can even get like it's white in the standard version. You can get like purple and all sorts. But they've even done that horrible wood grain version.
Yes. It's
And
the version you want. You want the mahogany. You want that mahogany. Come on. That's like their premium selling point. Come on. They gotta lean into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a look. This controller is 6-inch by 2.75 inch times 1 inch. So it's fairly sized. Do you know what I mean? It's not tiny, but it's not oversized. Does that make sense?
That's not too bad.
But,
That's not crazy.
I mean,
That's basically just like an average phone. It's like slightly a bit chunkier.
yeah, just a bit fatter. They do wood grain. They do red, purple, black. I like the black one, but yeah, I mean, so like I say, I mean the launch games. The ones that are coming physical are Moon Patrol, Finnegan Fox, Biplanes, Brain Jewel, Evil Knievel, Dynablaster, Missile Command, and Rigid Force Redux Enhanced. And there's only a couple of them I'm not super interested about. The rest,
Rigid Force.
Rigid Force.
Jesus.
Rigid Force Redux Enhanced. It looks quite good though. It's like a space shooter. I like that.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, you've sold me there.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, so as someone who's never seen this before, and this is like the first time you're looking at sort of video footage, and I've talked about the sort of details. What do you think of it as like a?
As a consumer,
Yeah,
as a consumer, I feel because it's out of my price range. If you got it and you said, "Hey mate, come round and we'll play on this," I'd be like, "Hell yeah, I want to play on this badly," because it looks kind of interesting. Look, both me and you, we like weird consoles. We like the weird. Let's just be honest here. We like the weird stuff.
that's true.
We both have like weird like gimmick games or like gimmick consoles or like controller setups that we've all done in the past, and we really enjoy that stuff. And I really enjoy that stuff. And I'd be down to play this. I'd be down to like get hold of it and give it a go. Like if it was at a test show or like you or a friend had got it, I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to get my hands on this so badly. Buying it,
It's too expensive, isn't it?
No.
Really, I feel like
Yeah.
it's 50 quid too expensive.
Yeah, it's just a little out of the price range. And even though I'm totally with you on the selling points, for families, for friends, keeping it clean, keeping it safe, and like bringing people together around a simple console, like that selling point. Really like they're selling, like I like what they're selling, and I hope it. I don't know if it was retro looking, I'd be more into it. I don't like the look of the like. 'Cause it basically looks like a bunch of like mobile ports.
It looks. What they've done is they've tried to obviously modernize the Intellivision controller, and instead of having the buttons, they've give it a touch screen so it can be basically anything.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention that I do like is though when you assign a character like a player, and you say you're like player 3.
Right.
You'll be red on the screen and it lights up red on your controller. I think that's a nice little fact. So you'll always know what colour you are on screen, especially on the more retro style games.
Yeah, that's something like PlayStation did on 4, and I really like that feature with when you did multiplayer in the same room on a PlayStation 4, it would light up to the colours that you were on screen. That is a nice touch. I really like them doing that. And like I say, like I like a lot of what they're doing. But like for me personally, like just the aesthetics wise, yeah, if they were selling this on the vintage look, I'd be more inclined.
Yeah,
right now,
like the Atari VCS looks like an Atari. It's just an Android. It's a computer shoved into an Atari case.
Yeah.
So it looks like an Atari, but it's got modern insides basically. I get what you mean. Yeah, I suppose though.
Like I like the idea.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I like the fact like they're using a touchscreen. I'll be interested to see how connected that feels, because
yeah,
that'd be a big point of contention. It's just like, how well does that controller feel with what I'm seeing, with what I'm doing? If that's like
yeah.
a really connected one-to-one, great for them. That's a really good selling point. The load times as well, I'm just curious about. Just like, can I hop in as quickly as I think I should be able to? Because again, like Intellivision type games, they're fast. They
Yeah.
don't hold a
They sh-
lot of memory. They want
yeah,
fast to
they
just get it
shouldn't.
going.
If they're like compared to sort of mobile esque games, then they shouldn't take long to load.
Yeah,
Um,
like I shouldn't even be having, like with mobile games, you have that huge like buffer
yeah,
loading at the beginning. I shouldn't even be getting that. I should be getting, like, I'm expecting like proper like old school like proper retro games, which where plucking the cartridge, like going no matter
yeah.
what. If
I know
they
what you mean.
pull that,
Definitely.
off, that's just again another great selling point that they can push forward. Just like, hey, look at this, no patches, just game.
No, I
You
agree. I
know?
agree. And
Yeah.
like I said, I highly recommend anyone who may be interested in this, check out the Intellivision YouTube channel. They've done sort of 3 or 4 deep dives into the games now, showing off how it works on the pads, on the screen, all the options. Um, I couldn't cover it all in this. We'd be here all day, but you can check that out. Like I say, if anyone in television ever wants to actually let me have an interview, I'd love to do one for the channel and the website. So hit me up. I hope we get some sort of demo kits over here in the UK, because they're doing all these demos and displays and sort of like get your hands on with the Amico in America. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I just want one in the UK. Do it at one of these
Yeah.
retro like arcades we've got, like in Bury or something like that. Let's do it there. Send one to my
Mhm.
house. I'll do it. You want to come round and play at my house? But I
Yeah.
want to get. It's one of those things. It's like I'm really interested. It's got a lot of negatives. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's got unique things that appeal to me. And like, oh, I think there's a game being made by the people at Medeco the Dolphin, like the original people behind that, or some of them, and
Yeah.
it's like a whale version of it instead, or something like that. I was like, that sounds cool. I like Deco the Dolphin. I like Earthworm Jim, a new Earthworm Jim exclusive. Yes, I am there for that. Do you know what I mean? I'm well
Yeah.
up for stuff like that. Um, Even the physical stuff, I kind of like it. I don't know why, I just do. But
It's just it's different. It's definitely different. Like everything about it, like everything like we've seen today, we've talked about today. Like I can't think of another company that's doing it like this. Like it's like if you think even like in the space they're working in, it's not like the emulation hardware space. It's normally just a straightforward like Raspberry Pi disguised, like
yeah,
just encased into something else,
yeah,
which we're 100% fine. It's like you get like you get 100 games on this one cartridge, and it just does everything you want. But here with the I keep want to say Nutella in television
the Nutella
console,
Amico, that sounds
yeah,
amazing.
uh,
Spreadable.
they're doing everything different. Like I can't think of like it's very every point that we've talked about sounds very unique and different
Yeah,
and trying new things, which I'm happy they're doing it, because again it just sets a at least they're testing something new, at least they're doing something different. So like you can't just say
yeah,
like, oh yeah, I know already what's going to happen. I have no idea how this is going to sell,
yeah. It could
because it's
sell
just
terribly. I'm not gonna lie. It could bomb. It could do really well. Who knows? I mean, it's one of those things. It could be awesome when we all get hold of it, but I
if
just
they
don't think there's enough of it out there yet. I mean, and the
yeah
fact that it should have been out by now, I feel there should be a lot more of it online. They're doing a lot better. Like I say, hands up the deep dives and the recent UI overview and stuff. It's definitely silencing
yeah
some of
stuff
the
like that,
criticisms, but
yeah.
I'd like more of it. I want to, and I'd love them to sort of. You're selling it in the UK. You're selling us these games already when we haven't got a console. Let's have some demo days over here in the UK as well. Let's see some UK sort of content
That
creators
would be
or
nice.
publications cover it, because it's something new. It's something different. It could be fantastic. It could bomb. I don't know. I'm weirdly intrigued, and I'll probably pick it up on release. I'm not gonna lie. As long as it actually comes out, I'll probably pick one up. I just, like I say, I think they've got a lot of stick from just over silly little things that I think people are blowing stuff up out of proportion, and they're trying to compare them to sort of Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation. This isn't what it's about. I mean, compare them to the Atari VCS if you're gonna, and that was a shit show at launch as well. And it's only just getting its footing now by the looks. But
Yeah.
they're not these big, massive companies. They're not going to make hundreds of millions of consoles. They're not going to have the AAA graphics.
Yeah, they don't
Call of Duty exclusive. It's not aimed at that. It's aimed at family fun.
Yeah,
And
they don't have like the coffers.
Call me old school. I kind of like a family fun console again. I mean, the Wii was a good idea until it became the shovelware zone. Do you know what I mean? And it was all those really terrible.
Yeah.
It was like it was good when it started, and then they beat it to death. That poor horse.
Well,
Get that money out of it. But let's say
did what Nintendo does best. They left it alone.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think we'll call it there then. If you're interested in Amico, definitely check it out. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. Would you like to see us do shows live instead of pre-recorded? Let me know. We do the XBL Party Podcast episodes live, but with this one, I've always done it pre-recorded, but I am willing to try them live. If you guys want it, we can join in with the comments in the chat and stuff. Let us know. Like I say, it's a fresh start for 2022. And yeah, we'll see you soon for another episode. So like, comment, subscribe, check her out on Twitter for all the updates when the next episode is going to be live. And thank you, Alistair, for joining me today.
No, thanks. This was fun. Thank you so much.
No worries, and we'll see everyone later. Bye for now.
Bye. Woo.